The morning sun rose over New Horizon Colony on planet Kronos, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Lisa Blackwell stood at the window of the governor's office, watching farmers head to the fields. 3 years as governor of humanity's newest colony had taught her to appreciate these quiet moments. "Governor, we have a situation." The voice of Lieutenant Joe Harding broke her peace. He stood in the doorway, his uniform crisp but his face tense. "What is it, Lieutenant?" Lisa turned from the window. "Our long-range sensors detected something entering the system. It's big, and it's heading straight for us." Lisa walked to her desk and pressed a button on her console. A holographic display appeared showing a massive object moving toward Kronos. "How big are we talking about?" she asked. "Bigger than anything Earth has built. At least 3 miles long." Joe pointed to the display. "And it's slowing down. Whatever it is, it's coming here on purpose." Lisa felt a chill despite the warm morning. "Call the council together and get Megan Clark up here. If this is first contact, we'll need our best communications specialist." Within an hour, the colony's leadership gathered in the command center. The room buzzed with nervous energy as technicians monitored the approaching object. "It's definitely artificial," said Kyle Bennett, the colony's systems administrator. "And now it's in orbit around Kronos." Megan Clark, a woman with dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, studied the readings. "They're broadcasting something. It's not radio, it's using quantum frequencies we've only theorized about." "Can you decode it?" Lisa asked. Megan's fingers flew across her tablet. "Working on it. The pattern suggests language, but nothing like ours." The main screen suddenly lit up with an image that made everyone step back. A being appeared, tall and slender with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors. Its face had no nose, just breathing slits, and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. "People of Earth Colony," it spoke in accented but understandable English. "We are the Vexitari. We come in peace and wish for cultural exchange." The room fell silent. Lisa stepped forward. "I am Governor Lisa Blackwell of New Horizon Colony. We welcome peaceful visitors. May I ask how you learned our language so quickly?" "Man." Alien made a gesture that might have been a smile. "We have observed your transmissions for some time. Your language is simple to master." Joe Harding leaned close to Lisa. "I don't like this. They've been watching us without making contact?" Lisa nodded slightly but kept her expression neutral. "We would be honored to establish diplomatic relations. However, our colony has protocols for first contact." "Of course," the alien replied. "We respect your caution. We request permission to send representatives to your surface in 3 of your days. We bring knowledge and technology to share." After the transmission ended, the council erupted in debate. "This is historic," said Samantha Wright, the colony's head biologist. "First contact with a spacefaring civilization." "It's suspicious," Joe countered. "They know too much about us, and that ship is massive. Built for what purpose?" Lisa raised her hands for quiet. "We have 3 days to prepare. I want increased security but no visible military presence that might seem threatening. Megan, keep working on their language and communications. Joe, quietly put your security teams on alert." As the meeting disbanded, Joe lingered. "Governor, something feels wrong about this." 3 days passed too quickly. The colony buzzed with excitement and fear. Children made alien drawings in school. Adults whispered in corners. Governor Lisa Blackwell barely slept, reviewing first contact protocols and emergency plans. On the morning of the 3rd day, Lisa stood in the colony's main square with her advisors. A crowd of colonists gathered, eyes turned to the sky. "Any update from the Vextari?" Lisa asked Megan. "They sent a message an hour ago confirming their arrival," Megan replied, checking her tablet. "But nothing since." Joe Harding scanned the crowd, his hand never far from his sidearm. "My teams are in position. Not visible as you ordered, but ready," Lisa nodded. "Let's hope we don't need them." A low rumble filled the air. People pointed upward as dark shapes appeared in the clear blue sky. Not one ship, but dozens of small objects falling toward the colony. "Those aren't landing craft," Joe said, grabbing his binoculars. "They're drop pods. spreading out to hit, all over the colony. Lisa grabbed her communicator. This is Governor Blackwell to Vextari vessel. Please respond immediately. Only static answered. Megan, keep trying to reach them. The first pods crashed 3 miles from the main settlement. Others landed near the farms, the water treatment facility, and the power station. Get everyone inside, Lisa ordered. Joe, deploy your teams. I want to know what's in those pods. People ran in panic as more pods fell. Parents grabbed children. Shop owners locked doors. The once excited crowd turned into a frightened mob. Ryan Nichols, a young colonial defense officer, led a 4-person team toward the nearest pod. They approached carefully, weapons ready. The pod was metallic black, roughly 15 feet tall, with strange symbols etched on its surface. Command, we're at drop site A, Ryan reported. The pod appears sealed, no movement. As if responding to his voice, the pod's surface split open. A thick mist poured out, obscuring what lay inside. Something's moving in there, said Alice, Ryan's second in command. A massive shape lunged from the mist. Ryan fired his weapon, but the creature moved with impossible speed. It stood 7 feet tall on 4 powerful legs. Its body was armored with overlapping plates, and multiple eyes dotted what passed for its head. Where a mouth should be, it had a collection of sharp, serrated appendages. Fall back! Ryan shouted as the creature charged. Alice wasn't fast enough. The monster caught her with a barbed limb, lifting her into the air. Ryan and his team fired repeatedly, but the bullets seemed to barely damage the creature. Command, we have hostile contact, Ryan yelled into his communicator as he retreated. Officer down. The pods contain some kind of monsters. Similar reports flooded in from across the colony. Pods opening, creatures attacking, colonists falling. In the command center, Lisa listened in horror. Get me the Vextari ship now. The main screen flickered to life. The same alien appeared, but now its demeanor had changed. Gone was the friendly diplomat. Governor Blackwell, the harvest has begun. What are you doing? Lisa demanded. You said you came in peace. We did. We observe peace while we study. The specimens we've released will assess your species' capabilities. Most testing planets don't survive this phase. Testing planets? We're people, not test subjects. The alien made a gesture that might have been amusement. All species say this. Few prove worthy of further observation. The screen went dark. Lisa turned to her shocked staff. This is no longer a diplomatic situation, she said grimly. This is an invasion. Joe, implement Defense Plan Delta. Megan, try to reach Earth. Dwayne, get our weapons stores open. She looked at the chaos unfolding on the monitoring screens. These things may have dropped on our planet, but they've made a terrible mistake. Outside screams filled the air as the monsters began their hunt. Lisa looked at the image of the alien ship now hanging over their world. I know, but we're 50,000 colonists on a frontier planet. Earth's nearest military base is 2 months away at best. If they wanted to harm us, why announce themselves? To make us let our guard down, Joe said quietly. Lisa nodded. Then we won't. Prepare for the best, plan for the worst. And Joe, make sure our emergency protocols are ready. 3 days. 3 days until the visitors arrived. 3 days until everything at New Horizon would change forever. 3 days after the drop, New Horizon Colony was in chaos. The harvesters, as colonists now called the alien creatures, had killed over 200 people. Thousands more hid in reinforced buildings or fled to the mountains. In the emergency command center beneath the colony's main building, Security Chief Dwayne Harris spread a map on the table. Red marks showed where the monsters roamed. They're not just attacking randomly, Dwayne said, pointing to patterns on the map. They're hunting methodically, cutting us off from key resources. Lisa Blackwell looked at the grim faces around her. What about communications with Earth? Megan shook her head. The Vextari ship is blocking all signals. We're completely cut off. Then we're on our own, Lisa said. Dwayne, what forces do we have? 43 trained security personnel with standard weapons. Another 100 colonists with hunting rifles or farming tools. Not enough to take on these things directly. In the makeshift medical center nearby, Nurse Amber Mason treated a man with deep claw wounds across his chest. The room was filled with injured colonists lying on whatever flat surfaces were available. "We're running low on pain medication," she told Dr. Wilson, the colony's chief physician, "and antibiotics. These wounds get infected quickly." "Do what you can," Dr. Wilson replied, moving to the next patient. "We'll have to start making our own medicines from local plants soon." Outside, Colonial Defense Officer Ryan Nichols led a small team through the abandoned Eastern District. They moved quietly, using the buildings for cover. "There," whispered Carlos, pointing to a harvester examining a home's broken door. "It's a loan." Ryan raised his hand, signaling the team to hold position. They had learned the hard way that frontal attacks were suicide. The creature's armor deflected most bullets, and they moved faster than seemed possible for their size. "Remember the plan," Ryan said softly. "Lure it to the trap. Don't engage directly." Carlos fired a single shot that pinged off a metal pole near the monster. The creature's multiple eyes swiveled toward the sound. It moved with terrifying speed, exactly as they'd hoped. The team retreated, leading it toward a narrow alley where other team members waited. As the harvester entered the alley, steel cables whipped across its path. The monster tripped, crashing to the ground. From above, colonists poured barrels of industrial adhesive onto the creature. It thrashed wildly but couldn't break free. "Now!" Ryan shouted. The team fired at the creature's eyes and the seams between its armor plates, the only vulnerable areas they'd discovered. After a full minute of concentrated fire, the monster finally stopped moving. "Get the specimen transport team," Ryan said, catching his breath. "Samantha will want this one intact for study." Back at the command center, Paul Dixon, a mining engineer, burst into the room. "I found something," he said, placing a rock on the table. "When I was hiding in the mines, one of those things followed me. It stepped on a patch of this mineral and started screeching. The stuff seemed to burn it somehow." Lisa picked up the bluish crystal. "What is it?" "We call it chronocyte. It's unique to this planet. We mine it for electronics." Samantha Wright, the colony's biologist, examined the mineral. "If this affects them, we might be able to weaponize it." At that moment, Kyle Bennett, the tech specialist in charge of the colony's AI system, entered with new information. "Athena has analyzed the surveillance footage of the attacks," he said. "The monsters are taking Sam 1 week into the invasion. New Horizon colony had changed beyond recognition. The once peaceful farms and neat streets were now battlegrounds. Almost a third of the colony was overrun. The rest was held together by determination and growing human ingenuity. Jack Monroe had been a hunting guide before settling on Kronos. Now he led 20 colonists through the underground maintenance tunnels. Each carried weapons coated with chronocyte dust. "Remember," Jack whispered to his team, "hit the eyes and joints. Make every shot count." They emerged near what had been the colony's main food storage facility. 3 harvesters moved between the buildings, collecting samples from fallen colonists. Jack gave the signal. His team split into smaller groups, just as they had practiced. 2 members banged metal pipes against buildings, drawing the monster's attention. When the creatures charged, hidden colonists pulled thin wires across their path. The harvesters tumbled, their momentum working against them. "Now!" Jack shouted. The team fired as one, aiming at the vulnerable spots they had identified. Chronocyte tipped. Bullets penetrated where regular rounds had failed. The monsters shrieked, a sound like metal tearing, as the mineral burned through their armor. In less than 2 minutes, all 3 harvesters lay dead. "Quick, collect what supplies you can," Jack ordered. "We have 5 minutes before more come to investigate." At the high school, now converted to a research center, Greg Mitchell worked with students to build devices that disrupted the monster's communications. As a science teacher, he never imagined using his knowledge this way. The harvesters use low-frequency sounds to coordinate, Greg explained to Lisa Blackwell, who had come to check on their progress. These devices broadcast noise that confuses them. He demonstrated a small box that emitted a sound humans couldn't hear. We've made 50 so far. They don't work for long before the creatures adapt, but they give our teams a fighting chance. Lisa nodded. Good work. Every advantage helps. Outside the building, Cindy Russell directed colonists as they attached metal plates and makeshift weapons to farm tractors. The heavy vehicles had become tanks in their desperate war. The forward blade needs to be higher, Cindy called to a worker. If it's too low, the tractor gets stuck on debris. Cindy had driven harvesters for 10 years. Now she used that skill to turn farm equipment into weapons. Her converted machines had already rescued 30 trapped colonists from monster-controlled areas. Deep below the colony, in abandoned mining tunnels, hundreds of civilians had found refuge. The narrow passages were difficult for the large harvesters to navigate. Paul Dixon organized teams to mine more chronocyte and convert it into weapons. The mineral affects them because their biology is partly synthetic, Samantha Wright explained, to a group of miners. The chronocyte disrupts the connection between their organic and mechanical parts. A young miner raised his hand. Can we make bigger weapons? Something to take out many at once? Paul nodded. We're working on chronocyte bombs, but we need more time. Time was something they barely had. Above ground, more drop pods landed daily, bringing new harvesters with different abilities. Some could climb walls, others spat acid that melted through metal. In the command center, Kyle Bennett worked with Athena, the colony's AI system, to predict harvester movements. They're learning our patterns, Kyle told Dwayne Harris, adapting to our tactics. Then we changed tactics, Dwayne replied. These things are smart, but they're not creative. They follow programming. That was the key insight that gave the colonists hope. The monsters might be stronger and faster, but humans could improvise. Adapt. Think in ways the harvesters couldn't predict. As night fell over New Horizon, Jack Monroe's team returned with supplies and new information. The Vextari were watching their experiment closely. Soon they would discover that humans were the most dangerous test subjects they had ever encountered. Pellas, blood, tissue, even whole bodies, and returning them to their pods. They're studying us, Samantha realized. Just like the Vextari said. This is some kind of sick experiment. Lisa stood up, determination in her eyes. Then let's give them unexpected results. Dwayne, organize our forces into small mobile units. Paul, get us as much of that chronocyte as possible. Samantha, I want weapons using that mineral by tomorrow. She looked at each person in the room. These aliens think we're just test subjects. They'll learn that humans don't go quietly to the laboratory. On a screen behind her, a harvester dragged a human body toward its pod. The experiment continued. 2 weeks into the invasion, the sky darkened as the Vextari mothership moved lower in orbit. New drop pods rained down, hundreds of them, crashing across the landscape. The second wave had begun. In the command center, the colonial leadership watched with grim faces. They're different, Samantha said, examining footage of the new harvesters emerging from their pods. Bigger, more armor. And look, they have some kind of energy weapon. Lisa turned to Megan. Any progress breaking into their communications? Some, Megan replied. I've managed to intercept transmissions between the ship and the harvesters. They're encrypted, but Athena is helping decode them. She displayed a partial translation on her screen. This part here suggests they're surprised. Surprised at what? Dwayne asked. That we're still fighting. Megan looked up. I think they expected us to be defeated by now. Eric Peters, the colony's geologist, burst into the room carrying a steaming rock sample. I've found something. These volcanic minerals from the western ridge, they do more than just burn the harvesters. They completely short-circuit their sensory systems. He placed the rock in a containment box. It's a rare mineral we haven't cataloged before. It emits radiation at a frequency that overloads their neural pathways. Lisa leaned forward. Can we weaponize it? Better, Eric said. We can create a barrier they can't cross. If we grind it into powder and create a perimeter, it's like an invisible wall to them. For the first time in days, Hope flickered in the room. Outside, the new harvesters tore through defenses that had worked against the first wave. A converted tractor tank flipped onto its side, its metal plates melting under energy blasts from a massive harvester. Jack Monroe watched from a hidden position as 3 colonists fled the damaged vehicle. His team couldn't help without being spotted by 5 harvesters patrolling the area. "Fall back to Point Echo," he whispered into his communicator. "We need a new approach." In the research center, Greg Mitchell worked frantically with Kyle to analyze the new harvesters. Their communication frequency changed, Greg said. "Our disruptors don't work anymore." Kyle nodded, fingers flying over his keyboard. "But their new frequency is simpler. Almost like..." His eyes widened. "They're using our colony's communication protocols. They copied our technology." "Can we use that against them?" Greg asked. "Absolutely." Kyle smiled for the first time in days. Yet they stole our code, but they don't understand how it works. I can create a backdoor into their entire network. Megan Clark sat surrounded by screens displaying Vextari language patterns. After days of listening to their communications, she was beginning to understand not just their words, but their thought patterns. "They see us as specimens," she told Lisa during a brief meeting. "But they're confused by our resistance. Their records show that most species at our technology level surrender after the first wave." "Good," Lisa said. "Let's confuse them more." The colony's factory level had been converted to weapons production. Frank Daniels, a mechanical engineer, supervised as chronocyte was integrated into projectile weapons. "We've improved the formula," he explained to Security Chief Harris. "Now one hit can disable even the new harvesters." "How many can you make?" Dwayne asked. "Enough to arm every fighter by tomorrow." That evening, Athena detected a new signal from the Vexitari ship. A smaller craft detached from the mothership and began descent toward the colony. Operation Hornet's Nest began at dawn. Colonists set fires across empty sections of the settlement, creating smoke signals visible from orbit. Groups of fighters moved in the open, seemingly careless, drawing harvesters toward prepared killing zones. Laura Fisher had been the colony's veterinarian. Now she worked in a sealed lab with biological samples taken from dead harvesters. The neural pathway is similar to Earth insects, she explained to Samantha. They navigate using specialized organs that detect vibration and chemical signatures. Laura held up a vial of pale yellow liquid. "This compound disrupts those organs. Spray it near a harvester, and it can't tell which way is up." "Will it kill them?" Samantha asked. "No, but they'll be helpless, unable to fight or move properly." Samantha took the vial. "How much can you make?" "Enough to coat a few hundred darts. Not enough for all the harvesters." "It's enough," Samantha said. "We just need to hit the right targets." The Vextari landing craft descended near the colony's central plaza. Jack Monroe and his team watched from hidden positions as the ship settled onto the ground. Unlike the drop pods, this vessel was elegant with smooth lines and glowing symbols. "All teams in position," Jack whispered into his communicator. "Hold until my signal," Lisa's voice replied. A door opened in the craft's side. 3 Vextari emerged, tall and eerily graceful. Unlike in their transmissions, seeing them in person revealed their true size, nearly 8 feet tall with limbs that moved too smoothly to be natural. They wore no visible protection, apparently confident in their superiority. Behind them came 4 harvesters, larger than any the colonists had seen before. Personal guards. The lead Vextari carried a device that projected a holographic display. It studied the readings, then spoke to its companions in their clicking language. In the command center, Megan translated for Lisa. "They're confused. The experiment parameters are being exceeded. Human resistance should have collapsed days ago. Let's exceed their parameters a bit more," Lisa said. She nodded to Kyle. Kyle activated Athena's new program. Across the colony, the harvesters suddenly froze, their communications disrupted by the AI's precise interference. "Drone teams, go," Lisa ordered. Small drones built from agricultural monitoring equipment rose from hidden locations around the colony. Each carried a cargo of Laura's neural disruptor. They flew over the frozen harvesters, releasing clouds of the yellow compound. The monsters didn't die, but they began to move erratically, crashing into buildings and each other. Some fell to the ground, limbs twitching. The Vextari observers noticed immediately. Their posture changed from confident to alert. One raised a device, attempting to contact their ship. "Now," Lisa commanded. Barriers rose from the ground around the landing zone, powered by the colony's emergency generators. The Vextari were trapped in a 20-foot circle with their confused guard monsters. Jack's team moved in, weapons ready but not firing. Lisa walked forward, flanked by Dwayne and Joe. The colony's leaders faced the alien observers across the barrier. "You came to study us," Lisa said, knowing the aliens could understand. "How's your research going?" The lead Vextari stepped forward. Its voice was melodic but cold. "Interesting tactics for primitives, but meaningless. Our ship carries weapons that could vaporize this colony in moments. Yet you haven't used them," Lisa replied. "Because this isn't about destroying us. It's about studying us. You want data, and now, we have something you want." The alien tilted its head. "You have nothing we need." Lisa smiled. "We have you. 3 high-ranking Vextari scientists, I'm guessing. Important enough that your ship won't risk firing while you're here." For the first time, the aliens seemed uncertain. "Let me explain how this will work," Lisa continued. "You're going to tell your ship to recall all harvesters. Then you're going to explain exactly why you attacked us and how we can contact your government." "Or?" the alien asked. "Or we'll show you how humans conduct experiments," Dwayne said, stepping forward. "I'm sure our scientists would love to study Vextari biology." The aliens conferred in rapid clicks and whistles. Their confidence was gone, replaced by something humans recognized easily. Fear. They're coming to see for themselves, Lisa realized. The experiment isn't going as planned, and they want to know why. She gathered her advisors. "This is our chance. If their leaders are coming down, we can send them a message they won't forget." As the alien craft approached, Lisa activated the colony-wide communication system. "Attention all colonists. Execute Operation Hornet's Nest. I repeat, execute Operation Hornet's Nest." Across New Horizon, humans prepared to show the Vextari they had made a terrible miscalculation. The hunters were about to become the hunted. 3 months after the first harvesters dropped on Kronos, the battle for New Horizon entered its final phase. The captured Vexitari scientists had revealed crucial information. Their species tested potential threats by unleashing bioengineered predators on developing worlds. Species that survived were considered dangerous and avoided. Those that failed became harvest worlds. "They never expected us to win," Megan explained to the War Council. "The test is designed to be nearly impossible." "Then let's show them impossible," Lisa said. The colonists had identified all 27 harvester nests around the settlement. Each nest contained a queen-like creature that coordinated the regular harvesters. Destroy the queens, and the invasion would collapse. Natalie Brooks climbed into the pilot seat of her mining excavator. Once used to dig chronocyte from the planet's crust, the massive vehicle was now armored with metal plates and fitted with weapons. "Ready?" Jack Monroe asked from the seat beside her. Natalie nodded and started the engine. Around them, 5 more converted mining vehicles roared to life. Each carried a strike team of fighters armed with chronocyte weapons. "All teams report ready." Dwayne's voice came through the radio. "Begin Operation Exterminator," Lisa ordered. The mining vehicles rolled forward, followed by tractors and trucks carrying more fighters. They headed toward the largest harvester nest, built inside what had once been the colony's main warehouse. Inside the command center, Kyle worked with Athena to track all harvester movements. "Directing units away from your approach," he reported. "You have a clear path to target Alpha for the next 10 minutes. The vehicles rumbled through empty streets. As they neared the warehouse, harvesters appeared, alerted to the threat. "They're coming at us from the east," Natalie called. "I see them," Jack replied. He activated the excavator's new weapon system, a modified rock crusher that fired chronocyte chunks like a shotgun. The mineral fragments hit the leading harvester, burning through its armor. The creature fell, thrashing. More harvesters closed in. The other vehicles formed a protective circle, weapons firing. Chronocyte darts, bullets, and improvised bombs kept the monsters at bay. "We're almost at the entrance," Natalie said, guiding the excavator toward the warehouse doors. "Preparing to breach." She lowered the reinforced digging arm and accelerated. The excavator smashed through the metal doors with a screech of tearing metal. Inside, hundreds of smaller harvesters scuttled across the floor and walls. In the center sat the queen, 3 times larger than normal harvesters with multiple egg sacs attached to its body. "Target acquired," Jack reported. The queen screamed, a sound that made the humans' teeth vibrate. The smaller harvesters rushed toward the excavator. "Now," Jack ordered. Ryan Nichols and his team emerged from the other vehicles. They fired specialized launchers that spread Laura's neural disruptor throughout the warehouse. The smaller harvesters began to stumble and twitch. The queen was less affected. It rose on massive legs and charged the excavator. "Hold steady," Jack told Natalie. She gripped the controls, keeping the vehicle in place as the queen approached. At the last moment, she activated the main digging blade. The reinforced edge, coated with chronocyte, sliced into the queen as it crashed into them. The excavator rocked backward from the impact. The queen's acidic blood melted parts of the vehicle's front end. But the chronocyte did its work, burning through the creature's vital systems. "Queen is down," Jack reported as the massive harvester collapsed. "Target Alpha neutralized." Across the colony, other teams reported similar successes. One by one, the queens fell. Without their leaders, the remaining harvesters became disorganized, easier to trap and kill. In the command center, Lisa received the reports with cautious optimism. But a new alert from Athena interrupted their progress. "The Vextari mothership is charging weapons," Kyle reported, his face pale. "They're targeting the colony directly." On screens around the room, energy readings from the orbiting ship spiked dangerously. Plan Omega had been Lisa's last resort. Now it was their only hope. In the colony's small spaceport, a captured Vextari shuttle was being prepared for launch. The colonists had spent weeks studying it, learning its systems with help from Athena. "The weapons are charging," Kyle reported from the command center. "We have less than 30 minutes before they fire." Joe Harding climbed into the pilot seat of the alien craft. Beside him, Ryan Nichols checked the systems they had only partially understood. "Remember," Samantha told them, "their biology is integrated with their technology. The ship responds to their neural patterns." She handed each man a small device to attach behind their ears. "These should help you interface with their systems. It's not perfect, but it's the best we could do." Lisa stood at the shuttle door. "Your mission is clear. Reach the mothership, deploy the package, and return if possible." Her voice softened. "But the colony comes first." Joe nodded grimly. "We understand, Governor." Behind them, 4 more volunteers boarded the shuttle. Each carried weapons and specialized equipment built from captured Vextari technology. Kyle had programmed Athena to create a virus that could disrupt the mothership's systems, stored in a device strapped to Ryan's wrist. "Good. Hunting," Lisa said as the door closed. The shuttle rose smoothly into the sky. Joe fought the strange sensation of the neural interface connecting him to the ship. It felt alive, responding to his thoughts as much as his hands on the controls. "Energy readings are increasing," Ryan reported as they climbed toward orbit. "They haven't noticed us yet. The cloaking field is working." The Vextari mothership grew larger in their view, its massive form blocking out the stars. Up close, it resembled a giant insect, with segments and protrusions that served unknown purposes. "There," Joe said, pointing to a smaller opening. "Maintenance. Access according to the intel from our prisoners." He guided the shuttle toward it, using the captured scientists' access codes to bypass security. The small craft slipped inside the mothership undetected. "We're in," Joe reported to the colony. "Beginning Phase 2. They docked at an internal bay and prepared to exit. Each person checked their weapons and oxygen masks. The mothership's atmosphere might be toxic to humans. "Stay together," Ryan ordered as the shuttle door opened. They moved through glowing corridors that seemed to pulse with life. Unlike human ships with clear machinery, the Vextari vessel was partly organic, with walls that resembled muscle tissue. "Command. Center should be 3 levels up," Ryan whispered, following the map they had extracted from the captured scientists. They encountered few Vextari. Most were focused on the weapon systems targeting the colony below. The team used service passages to avoid detection, guided by Samantha through their communicators. "The main control node should be just ahead," she told them. "It's the glowing column at the center of their bridge." They reached a doorway and peered inside. A dozen Vextari moved around a large chamber. In the center stood a pillar of pulsing blue light. "That's it," Ryan said. "We need to get to that column and upload Athena's virus." Joe checked his chronocyte weapons. "Cover me, I'll make the run." Before anyone could argue, Joe sprinted into the room, firing at the ceiling. The Vextari turned in surprise, not expecting intruders on their own ship. Ryan and the others laid down covering fire, their chronocyte ammunition burning through the aliens' unprotected bodies. Joe reached the column and pressed the device against it. The upload began immediately, Athena's code flowing into the Vextari systems. The ship's lights flickered. Alarms blared in the alien language. "It's working," Joe shouted. "The weapons are powering down." On the main display, the targeting system for New Horizon disappeared. Instead, a new message appeared, in human English. "To all Vextari vessels, this planet is under human protection. The species you tested has passed. They have captured your ship, disabled your weapons, and are now sending this message to your homeworld. Remember the name of this world, Kronos. Remember the name of our species, human. We are not test subjects. We are not specimens. We will defend our worlds. And if you ever return with your monsters, none of your kind will survive the mistake." The colony below, cheers erupted as the Vextari weapons powered down. Lisa looked at the captured alien scientists, who stared at the screens in disbelief. "The experiment is over," she told them. "You've collected your data. Now leave our planet and never return." Above, Joe and Ryan secured the bridge of humanity's first captured alien vessel. The hunters had become the prey. The test subjects had become the teachers. And throughout the galaxy, the name human would never again be associated with easy target. "They're going to destroy the entire colony," Dwayne said. Lisa looked at the imprisoned Vextari scientists. "Tell your ship to stand down." The lead alien made a gesture like a shrug. "They follow protocol. If test subjects show unusual resistance, the site is to be sterilized. No exceptions." "Then we make an exception," Lisa said, turning to Joe and Ryan. "Prepare the shuttle. It's time for Plan Omega."